Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. This is going to be another response to one of the requests that I got on the video I put up a few videos ago where I said, hey, tell me what you guys would like for me to talk about, share, that type of thing. And I've loved the suggestions that you guys have put up there, and I'm just going to knock these things out as I get time and as I just kind of feel driven. So I'm not going to, wait a week or wait this long in between videos or whatever. I'm just going to shoot them out back to back because I'm just really kind of excited to talk about a lot of the things that you guys asked about. So thank you very much for that. This was going to be for Angel, who put this request out, and cool guy here in the VC. That's a link to his channel right down below. Go check him out. He did a really cool room tour about 2 weeks ago, which are always my favorite VC videos, so go check that out. But he had 3 basic questions, and I'm going to try not to ramble so I can keep these as a lot more condensed and short here. Question number 1 was, how did I get started collecting vinyl? Number 2 was, what was my first kind of audio setup? And then number 3, knowing that I kind of work at record stores and stuff like that, he was kind of like, how did you get into working at record stores? So question number 1, in terms of how I started collecting vinyl, somewhere around 2008ish, somewhere in that ballpark. I've always collected music, cassettes, CDs, burnt CDs, this and that. Like, I always had tons of music, but as far as actually collecting vinyl, it was right around 2008, and I was really buying a lot of used CDs at that time. And I was in a store buying some CDs. The store was about 50% records, 50% CDs, and I remember seeing the dollar bin, this box sitting on the floor. So I was just like, I'm not looking to buy records, but just go look at musical stuff, right? And I'm kind of flipping through the box, and I just remember seeing a bunch of different 80s R&B albums that I hadn't seen in a while, and something was just like, I want to buy them. I don't have a turntable or anything, but I want to buy them. So I bought like 9 or 10 records or something like that, and this is, again, it's around 2008 or so, which basically sat on my floor for about 8 or 9 months probably. And then one day I'm in another store looking at CDs, and the guy has a Sony turntable for sale. It was like 35, 40 bucks. It was one of those, basic push start, auto return, no counterweight, the slip-on cartridge, all that kind of, so like the very, very basic turntable. But it was 35, 40 bucks, and I don't know one turntable from another. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to buy this, and I can actually start playing those records that I have. And so I bought the turntable, took it home, and so I hooked it up. So that's kind of how I first got into buying vinyl, because then once I had that turntable, I started actually picking up a record here or there out of the dollar bins when I was looking for CDs, and I got to about 50 records or so over the course of that first couple of months. And then this kind of the story I told, where there ended up being this sale of this guy that passed away that owned a record store. Family didn't want to continue. 275,000 records they were selling. Put them all in a warehouse, and everything was just $1 a piece. And I went to that sale, and like overnight, I went from a 50 record collection to a 350, 400 record collection, just like that, in a matter of a couple of weekends. So that's really kind of how my vinyl collecting started. So kind of going into with the system part. So I have that basic Sony turntable. My system at the time was really based around movies, kind of with the 5.1, not really anything with music. So I had a very basic Sony, kind of the blackface 80s, 90s, whatever, 5.1 system. And luckily, I can't remember if the turntable had a built-in phono preamp or if the receiver did. But either way, I didn't have to buy a preamp. So I just plugged that turntable right in, and I was just playing it with my main movie system. So the basic Sony receiver, but my speakers were kind of cool because that was right about the time the Martin Logan, the Electrostacks had come out, at least that new line, and I ended up buying a pair of those. But that was also back at the time where you paid $3,000 for a like 42-inch flat screen plasma TV. I remember that's how much my plasma TV cost back at that time. Thing weighed a ton. But so I had those nice Martin Logan Electrostat speakers. But yeah, just the absolute most introductory level of turntables at the time. And I had that turntable and that system for quite some time. I mean, my record collection and the quality of my records went way up long before I actually upgraded my system and all of that. But that's what got me started. In terms of working at the record stores, I mean, obviously, Riverbend Records that I work at right now, Billy Hurst was a friend of mine before he even opened the store. He and I actually met here through the VC. So he was a big VC guy before he got too busy by having to work at the record store. So that's kind of how that connection took place. And then with so it was kind of cool though, with him having the idea and then sharing the news and kind of being there with him to help tear down the walls and just kind of starting the whole thing bare bones from scratch and being there to kind of help with pricing and building and construction and renovating and all of that. I mean, it was really, really awesome. The guy I used to work for before, the Music Record Shop in downtown St. Louis, really cool guy named Mark. Kind of how I got in with him in terms of working at the stores, I used to go to his store all the time. So, we would always chat, and very, very nice guy. One of the most friendly guys you'll ever meet. Cool as can be. Just so laid back, so cool. And they were going to move actually, and so I remember I was in the shop one day and they were talking about the move and this and that, and I was like, hey, independent record store owners, number one, you guys are not made of money and you're not getting rich off of this. It's all about the passion. And I was like, so I know you guys are getting ready to move. If you need an extra set of hands, I'll be happy to come by and help, because I know what a pain in the rear it is to try to move a few thousand records, much less a store. And they were just kind of like, wow, really? That would be awesome. Because really it was only the other 2 employees and him that were going to do the entire move. So at least we took 3 to 4, that's a 33% jump in manpower, so to speak. So yeah, I went by there and I helped out the entire day. We got everything moved and all of that. And I remember at the end, he had ordered some pizzas for us and he kind of pulled me off to the side and he was like, that was really, really awesome, man. You've just volunteering to come by and, help us all day and all that. Really appreciate it. And he was like, from now on, everything in the store is 20% off for you for the rest of your life. It's just a given. And I was like, wow, thanks a lot. That's freaking huge. And then he gave me $100 gift certificate as well. And I was like, wow, thanks again. That's freaking awesome. I wasn't expecting anything here. I was just wanted to help in what I know was going to be a tough job. And if I was in your shoes, I would love for somebody to, hey, I come by and help, Brandon. That's just what I would want. And then after that, we just kind of started talking a little bit more, and it just kind of became we have this collection sitting next door we haven't had time to go through, and I know you know a bit more about cassettes. There's a bunch of cassettes in there, and what if you just kind of came through and just kind of started pricing and going through this stuff so we can start getting it out there. And that's basically what I did. I would just pop in whenever, price stuff for a few hours, put some stuff online, all of that, and it just kind of became a very cool thing. And in all the cases, I love working just for store credit, because that's how I fund the disease without having to spend a lot of money. So that's kind of how that came about. But anyway, so yeah, there you go, Angel Man. I hope that kind of addresses the questions that you asked there. Again, thanks for asking. And as always, VC, let me know what you think, and we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys.